What's up, guys? I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about the hottest team in basketball, the Utah Jazz. They have been unstoppable, clicking on all cylinders, and I know they just lost a tightly contested game to the Los Angeles Clippers, but other than that, they've been on fire. I think they've now won 22 out of the last 24 games, which is ridiculous. And man, I mean, they just look completely different than previous seasons. I know that they always go on these runs where they'll win like 15 or 10 in a row, but this season, man, it really seems different. And they play the Lakers tonight, actually, which is a good test for them. So we'll see how that one goes. But despite their hot start, despite their best record in the NBA, best team in the league right now, I still see people on social media and Twitter just completely disregarding and disrespecting and downplaying what this team has been able to do this season. And from some aspects, I kind of get it because they, like I said, they do this often. But watching this team play, if you're really watching the Jazz play, this is a different team. They got weapons all over the place. Bojan Bogdanovic, he is a guy that if you let him get hot, he'll give you 25 or 30. Jordan Clarkson, who was my preseason pick for Sixth Man of the Year, has been lights out. Jordan Clarkson, when they signed him, I was so happy they signed him because they were missing one piece, and that was a guy that can come off the bench and give you instant offense, and that's what Jordan Clarkson has been. He has been insanely good shooting the ball this season. It seems like every shot he puts up is going in, and he's like a microwave guy. If he sees one shot, two shot, three shots in a row go in, the other team better watch out because he's going to be lights out that night. A good example of that is when he played Philly a few days ago. He dropped 40 points off the bench is not an easy thing to do. And, he's just one of those guys, man. You can't leave him open at all because he'll make you pay. Mike Conley last season was very disappointing. He's always been a guy ever since the early Memphis days. He was just a constant guy that will give you great offense and great defense, a solid point guard all around. And last season for Utah, they signed him, and I think they signed him to be like a guy that can relieve pressure off of Donovan Mitchell to allow him to play off the ball. And he wasn't able to do that. Donovan Mitchell still had to carry a lot of the load, and Mike Conley just wasn't able to assert himself as much as we wanted to see him. He was turning the ball over way too much. He wasn't hitting his open shots, and he just never was able to find a rhythm up until the Orlando bubble, where it was kind of too late because he did it in the later part of that Denver series, and by that part, they were already in a very heated and intense series, and he didn't, he had that last shot that would, if he made that last shot, that would have been one of the best shots of NBA history to win that series. But Mike Conley in all wasn't able to really get going throughout that entire series and season. And watching him this year is a completely different Mike Conley, back to his old self as a guy that's just hovering around the all-star range. He's never actually been an all-star, which is kind of disappointing and crazy to me, but he is playing like an all-star. He's been solid defensively, solid offensively, providing the scoring that they need him to, and he's just been great for them, man. And it's a joy to watch Mike Conley play like this because he's such a good guy, and we know what he's capable of, and he's playing like it right now. Then they have these guys like Royce O'Neal, Joe Ingles, Derek Favors, who are just guys that are so good at what they're supposed to do. They have a specific role and they just do that role so good. Royce O'Neal is a guy that they only ask him to lock down the other team's best player, and that's what he does. He plays insane defense on some of the best players in the league, and if you leave him open from three, he'll make you pay at times. He can rebound the hell out of the ball for a guy that's undersized at his position. Joe Ingles is a guy that just makes. He's a power forward, but he makes like a guard at times. He can hit the three so well. He's playing great. Derek Favors is another guy that they brought back after being on the Pelicans last season. They brought him back, and he's been great for them off the bench. Other than that one game, he played against Nikola Jokic earlier this season and got destroyed. But he's been good other than that. He's been solid for him. And then it comes down to the two All-Stars, well-deserved All-Stars, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Donovan Mitchell, we've seen him now. He is a capable be He'll give you 20, he'll give you 30, he'll give you 40, he'll give you 50, like we saw last year in the playoffs. And he's able to be as consistent as that this season as well, man. He's playing very well. But the part of his game that I've enjoyed him and his growth in his play is his playmaking ability, man. He's able to find his teammates so much better than he was in the past. He's able to kick it out to his shooters, find Rudy Gobert when he has a mismatch, lob it up to him at the rim. He's just been overall a better playmaker, and it's kind of been cool to watch him grow in that area. He's a capable defender. He's not a plus defender, but he's a capable one. And then you get to Rudy Gobert. If you were to ask me what's the main reason for the Jazz being as good as they are this season, I would have to say Rudy Gobert, man. He is just as dominant as it gets on the defensive end of the ball. What he does from the basket to like 15 feet out is just ridiculous, man. He controls that entire area. He dissuades people from coming in the paint. He makes guards think twice, man. Do I really want to drive in the paint and get my shot blocked by Rudy Gobert? I don't know. That's the Rudy Gobert just has that effect on the entire team. His presence on the defensive side in the paint allows the guys on the perimeter like Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Royce O'Neal to play so aggressive and get those steals because they know that if that guy were to get around them, they got to deal with Rudy Gobert with that big wingspan that he has. I mean, he has just been dominant this season on that end of the ball. But that being said, he's also having what I would consider his best offensive season of his career. A few seasons ago, I remember getting mad at Rudy Gobert when I was watching him because he was like struggling to even catch the ball, and when he would get the ball offensively, when he was looking to put his shot up, he would just flail his body and throw the ball up. He has improved to the point where he has real touch around the rim. He's able to catch the ball and flip it up softly and get his buckets where he can. And when he notices he has a mismatch, he'll take it. And when he notices that a double team's coming because of his size and because he's so big, he'll kick it out to his shooters and start the movement around the perimeter that the Jazz are known for, man. They have some of the best ball movement in the league. And that all kind of stems from Rudy Gobert and his presence on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. His rebounding is unmatched. He has just been so good this season. And Charles Barkley said recently that Donovan Mitchell was in his conversation for MVP. And I was thinking to myself, Rudy Gobert has been the most impactful player on the Utah Jazz. So I would actually have him in the MVP conversation. And he's been running away with the Defensive Player of the Year award this season, man. Just unmatched what he can do on the defensive end of the ball. Dominant as it gets, as I said. And the Utah Jazz are for real. Basically, the point of this video is to tell you that the Utah Jazz are for real. Do not sleep on this team because they can beat anybody in the league. I'm telling you, they can. I know the Western Conference is very competitive. You have the Phoenix Suns, who've been hot recently. You have the Portland Trail Blazers, who, when healthy, are as good as it gets. You have the Clippers. You have the Lakers. The Nuggets, if Jamal Murray can kind of play to the level we know he can consistently. The Warriors are always there. But the Utah Jazz are at the top of that list, man. I'm telling you, they can beat anybody in the league, and I would not be surprised to see them in the Western Conference Finals down the line. But that being said, that's all I have to say about them. My next video is going to be my mid-season awards. So right as the All-Star break gets going, that's when I'll make that video. And yeah, until then, I'll see you guys. Peace.